2, 1.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation.
The best in the city.
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media. WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media.
And good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name's Robert Ficano. We have a very, very lively and filled studio here today, along with, start with Keith Williams. Keith, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, my brother.
Doing good, I hope.
You
didn't catch that baseball that was 2000th RBI for Pujols?
Pujols about 45 years old.
Yeah, I know, but he still
man.
makes $26 million a year.
Yeah, he like Cabrera's, man. They overpaid them guys,
well,
man.
Cabrera's turned into a single sitter, but that's
yeah,
okay.
he's a single hitter now, man.
Yeah, he's had one home run.
Man, I'm not even into that anymore, man. I watch it. Baseball's too long and it's boring to me.
What do you mean? You run a whole camp for youngsters for baseball?
Yeah, but guess what? I'm sitting watching on TV. I'd rather watch the kids go through their little stuff. Man,
okay. Well, you run a camp, I know, and you get scouts there and everything else.
But I'm saying, Bob, I'd rather see the aspirational part from the kids.
Yeah.
Than seeing these old multi-millionaires, man.
Well, they're doing okay.
I heard something, Bob. The streets are talking, man.
What's that?
It's just a lot of stuff going on in Detroit, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll open up the Free Press. You got a lot of stuff going on in Detroit.
And the D, man,
The D is talking.
Yeah, the D is talking. Then I go up to Ann Arbor yesterday, man, and they said there's no African Americans nowhere in city council. They got, how they elect their people in wards. You can't, an African American candidate can't get through the ward system like they got in Chicago, man.
How many people they got on the council in Ann Arbor?
I don't know.
5 or 7? I think,
something like that.
I think it's 5.
So Bob, prosperity for one is bad for somebody else, man.
It's interesting because Ann Arbor is perceived as one of the liberal bastion of progressive movement that there is.
Some of them could be the worst kind, Bob.
That's
liberals
part of that.
and liberals, man. And you see with Joe Biden, Bernie's mad because Bernie's sinking and he tanking, man.
Yeah, the latest poll has Biden at 39% and Bernie at like 19%.
Yeah.
I mean, dramatically. I know we have a lot of callers that are Bernieites, so I'm sure they're going to come in and start defending them.
It's over with for Bernie.
Yeah, it probably is.
It's over with. It's the thing is baked. Joe Biden. Now I'm pushing for Kamala Harris to be the vice president candidate.
Okay.
It's got to have some coloration in the deal, Bob. You know what I'm saying, man?
I hear you. Also with us today, Scotty Boman, our residential libertarian.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right. Good to be here.
You sound so cautious this morning. Yes, that's right. You've raised a very good point. We want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day today. And in fact, we're going to be getting into that around 8:30.
It's men raising kids too,
Yes, I know. Let's ask Kathy about that.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you're Kathy.
Yeah, that's your wife too, Bob.
Yeah. Tom Choske is here, a community activist as well. But seriously, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Some of us who have lost our mother, it's a very difficult time. You think of her. I miss my own mom every day, and she was an inspiration. In fact, everything that I achieved was, I think, her living sometimes pushing and making sure doing the right choices and things like that. And mothers are special. They really are with part of that. So, Tom, I know one of the discussions that come up has to do with auto insurance reform. It looked like it was a big week that some of that was going to happen. And I happened to stop by the Michigan Trial Lawyers last night. They had their annual banquet. And there's a lot of angst going on about what they're trying to do in the legislature. I guess what capitalizes or what captures it, though, earlier in the week, I went for a haircut. And the barber, you can call them barbers, whatever, hair guys, hair person, he was telling me that he has 3 cars, and in 6 months, his rates went up $800
Oh, yeah.
for the 3 cars. And this was his image, that the things are just plain screwed up, and that he was really angry and frustrated. He says, I had no tickets. My credit score seems to be okay. Nobody seems to be complaining about that and things like that. But still, with the 3 cars, which, for his family, it went up $800. So, amongst all the arguments and everything else that's going on, in the legislature and all the posturing and things like that, people are really frustrated with how much their insurance is going up with the autos and concerning them.
And if they aren't getting it now, they will be getting it soon. The Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association is raising the amount that it's charging each of us. So whenever you get your renewal, be it a 12-month renewal or a 6-month renewal, you're going to see that increase come in. And that's what's hitting us in the pocketbook.
They're going up $96, I believe, is the amount that they're raising in each car.
In each car. So that's when he's talking 3 cars, $200, or $600, excuse me. That's about it.
And then they had to get their own juice in there, so it came up to $800.
Oh, yeah.
And part of it.
Lansing has been dithering on this issue for decades. We were talking about that before the show. They haven't been doing anything. And the Republicans came up with this plan just unilaterally and tried to slam it through the legislature this past week that wouldn't do anything to address the issues that are really facing us, not only
especially
in Michigan.
Detroiters.
Yeah, especially us in Detroit. Now, they say that it will. They say that they're going to require the auto insurance companies to prove that they're lowering auto insurance rates. But the question is that enforceable? They tried that with continuing coverage and back when they did no fault back in the day, but the insurance companies have never proven, and the Department of Insurance and Financial Services has never audited to see if they actually are lowering rates for folks who do have health insurance to augment their auto insurance benefits.
Well, the governor said she's going to veto this bill if it is placed on her desk.
Veto the House bill?
She said she would veto. Yeah,
she doesn't want either one.
So she's like talking out of both sides of her mouth, because when the Senate plan came along, she had a list of things that would have to change in order for to approve auto insurance reform. So then the House gives her a bill that complies with all of her wishes, and she's still voting no on it. Maybe Nolan Finley was right when he wrote that editorial saying that maybe she plans on holding auto insurance hostage so she can get her gas rate increased.
Now, I think that you're right on that last part, that there is going to be something ultimately where auto insurance and road funding are going to be tie-barred together somehow. But the problem is that one of the things the governor is looking for is that equality, that equity, and we still have not seen anything to address the redlining that we face as Detroiters.
Yeah, they still use credit scores. They still use different things in order for them to
zip
make
codes.
an
The
evaluation.
House
And zip
version,
codes.
though, gets rid of that.
Bob,
I don't think it does.
Bob, until they get both of the Senate and the House, ain't nothing going to happen.
You're saying that until the Democrats get control of the House and the Senate?
Keith, I think you got a little bit more faith in the Democrats than I do, that they'll be able to pull it off.
I'm just throwing it out there because all this stuff is just conversation. It's just good for the papers, good for conversation, man. And then they're going to happen.
I was with Mark Brewer. Mark Brewer is very active, obviously, in the trial lawyers, and he was there last night. And he's leading that charge against the redistricting.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 8 seats that right now it's a 3-judge federal panel. It's 3 seats that they're looking at it, and they're going to change it. And he said, as of right now, the Republicans are putting up all sorts of resistance that they don't want to redistrict right now. They're saying wait for the 2022 elections in order for that to happen. And it looks like the courts are going to force them to redistrict. So you probably might see more Democrats that are going to get elected because there will be a fairer redistricting plan that they're going to actually draw.
Brewers against redistricting?
Huh?
Brewers against redistricting?
No, he's for it. He's the advocate for it.
He was against the gerrymandering.
They put out several districts that have been questionable. We know the Republican Party had rigged the game. But at the end of the day, Bob, there is some hope. But I'm just, politicians, man. I was
we were both politicians. We're recovering politicians.
Yeah, I already went through my rehab at a time. All they do is subject posture. Go up there, talk their garbage, and nothing happens.
I think this time, and this just. One of the big discrepancies, and I think this is what they're really wrestling with, is the medical situation concerning accidents versus regular rates that you get charged if you aren't in an accident. So in theory, that benefits on a car insurance, if I get hit and I got to do an MRI, if it's with through an auto accident, the MRI is 3 times higher than if I was hit on the street and I'm walking, someplace and they got to do the MRI. Is 3 times higher because of the auto rates that they're allowed to charge.
And the hospitals will defend that, though, and they'll say that's how we make up for the losses we take covering folks on Medicare and Medicaid, where it's a lower reimbursement schedule.
Okay, they say it's maybe lower, but the Medicare and Medicaid has also been a boon to the hospitals that is a government subsidy that is going to be mandated that they're going to get. In other words, if I'm on the street and something happens to, let's face it, if I'm a mother and I have a child and it's 2:00 in the morning and she has a problem, if I don't have insurance, I'm going to still go to the hospital and I'm going to see what I'm going to do about that child, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, they got to absorb that because under the law they can't turn away anybody in an emergency room and things like that. And I think what you're going to see is that the insurance companies are still going to be okay because now they're saying, okay, if this is a mother that is on assistance, they're going to get the Medicare or Medicaid. They're going to get that payment, so they're better off with the Medicaid because that's going to cover that.
And let's also face it too, the hospitals are not. They're not in a bad spot. We've seen DMC with its for-profit company over the past years. It's been turning profits. Okay. We saw the Beaumont merger. These hospitals are not hurting that much. They can afford to come to the table a lot more than they are. Same with the medical insurance companies. Same with the auto insurance companies.
I think the bills, if I read correctly, tie the hospital the reimbursement rates now to the rates they pay for workman's comp.
That's what they're trying
to do.
Yeah.
Ultimately, though, the problem is the insurance companies are not going to guarantee they're going to lower the rates. They're going to go through this and they're going to do all these things. The only thing that's mandated is a catastrophic fund is going to go to $40 or something versus what it is now, $220 that they said there's going to pay. But there's no mandate. So I'm going to sit there. I'm going to give you all these breaks in theory that the Republicans and their bills have passed, but I can't guarantee you that I'm going to lower the rates. Well, what am I getting in exchange?
Bob, just listen to this conversation. The average citizen don't know what the hell we talking about. Okay? This is all inside gobbledygook,
But they got to, because this impacts your life. This impacts your life.
This is the sausage you say that needs to be made.
Bob, it's confusing, and they make people people get tired of hearing the same stuff.
Just like the barber, he said, my insurance went up $800. I don't know what it is. Fix it.
Yeah. See that, you got to speak in plain English. When you start talking legalese and catastrophic and all this stuff, people don't want to hear that stuff. They want to get their stuff fixed.
They want the sausage to be made. Okay, we got John on the line here. John, I think is this our John from the postal worker here?
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Hey, John, I love you, man. Hey, man, your boy is a liar. Now the son don't want to. Your son, hold on, man. Your son don't get exempt from not going to. So he going to ignore a subpoena too.
Yeah, why not? What the heck? Why not?
Y'all lawless anyway,
okay,
man.
for those of you that don't know, Don Jr. got subpoenaed by the Republican committee in the Senate.
They can throw him under the bus, man.
It's all a joke. You know it, and I know that's the politics of it all.
No, it ain't the politics.
Okay, what's on your mind here, John? You like your car insurance or what?
No, well, I'm going to tell you what. There is nothing going to happen right now because the Democrats are sitting there and the Republicans, they're all looking at 2020. So they're not really working for the people. They all got their own political agendas.
I agree with you. For once, I agree with you, man.
Well, it's all about the money, John.
Give me a cup of coffee now.
It's all about that money. And about that $1 billion, too, that your boy lost as well.
But John, your president isn't doing too good here.
No, our president's okay. What they talk about the $10 billion you lost? That's old news. That way, if you go watch.
No, John. Hey, John, this guy is been ill-equipped to run anything, man. They said the guy. Did you hear about the guy said he was looking at quilts are looking at swatches
Hey,
for
let me ask you,
you didn't hear about that?
I'm gonna tell you what. This is serious.
They said his
got
attention
I'm
span
up
is like
here
a
in
baby, man.
I'm up here in Macomb County, okay?
Don't tell me
I know,
about no.
yeah,
Right.
Go
Bring the
ahead.
Democrats.
My county executive, Mark Hackle, he wants to put a 9/11 cell phone tax and a landline tax.
They have that in all
And
the
that's
other
from the
counties.
state, yeah.
They have that in all the other
Yeah, I know.
colonies, John.
But see, he wants to keep it at 42 cents instead of putting it at 43 cents. 1 penny more would put it on the ballot. Why does he not want to put this on the ballot? So the Macomb County voters can vote on this. So he can.
Y'all weird out there anyway.
No, wait a minute. Now, what? Macomb County.
Y'all in a different world anyway. Man.
Wait a minute, John.
No, wait a
Every
minute.
other county has this tax. It's the 9/11 tax, right? I mean, it's for
Yeah,
emergency
9/11
phone calls
tax,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Okay, but here you go. Well, Reagan put in the landlines in every house. But I'm asking you guys, why not raise it 1 more penny so the voters can decide on it? We got a county executive up here that was supposed to streamline government and be transparent.
No, how can y'all be transparent in every city in there and got corruption?
When you
Well,
ask
no, I
why
know,
a politician does something that allows them to raise taxes more easily without a vote of the people, the answer is because they can.
Well, John, you live in a republic. You do not live in the Greek form of government that they vote on every single issue that comes in front of the government. You live by represent. I mean, you live in a society of representation. That's why you elect people to make
But
decisions.
Bob, he works for the post office. He been in the United States Army. He been eating off the public trough a long time. And so now he don't want to share. He don't want to share, man. That's what gets me about them guys. They sucked it off the trough.
Come on, Keith.
Hey man, y'all one big vacuum, man.
Short of putting on the ballot, Keith. 1 penny short. Why not, if Mark Hackle wants this money for the 9/11 stuff, why not go 43 cents instead of 40?
Let some
Hey,
contain
John,
catastrophic
John, should we put any pay increase for the postal workers on the ballot?
Heck yeah.
Oh, okay.
Put it on there.
Okay.
The Postal Service is going under. They haven't paid their debts in the last 10 years. 10 years, and they're worried about Donald Trump's taxes. He's only one guy. The Postal Service employs a lot of people. Politicians.
Okay. What else is going on, John? Anything real quick?
Nothing. I'm just worried about that 1 penny tax.
You're worried about the 1 cent tax? Okay.
Yeah, well,
You should be worried about some of the corruption out there. I think that trash company has racked up about 11 of you guys getting indicted out there, haven't they?
You ain't got no cousins involved in, do you, John? Any family members?
The guy that I'm in Chesterfield Township, and the guy.
That's even
Oh,
worse.
wow. Okay.
That's even worse.
You're in the exclusive club up there, John.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I like my supervisor, but he was wrong. What the heck are you gonna do? He's wrong.
He's wrong?
Yes,
But y'all still
Well,
would vote for a
right,
guy
yeah.
like that.
I
You
didn't
said
vote
you
for
like
him.
your supervisor, but he was wrong. I don't understand. Why'd you vote for
I
him?
did like him. I like him. He's a nice guy, but you know what?
He had
was
his hand
wrong.
in the cookie jar.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he got indicted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, John, you should never come over there and talk about Wayne County for anything, man.
Oh, you know what? You know what's wrong with Macomb County and Oakland County? I call it the fleecing. All the Wayne County people left Wayne County.
no.
And they're fleecing
One
Wayne
thing-
Oh,
County.
they're fleecing?
Hold on.
Wait a minute. You like all the businesses that came from Detroit and went to Oakland and Macomb County, but nobody got fleeced there, huh?
Hey, guess what? One thing we did right, we purged all them races out of Wayne County. That's where he landed up in Macomb.
To me, it's like the grapes of wrath. It's like locusts, man.
All right, we got to get going, John. I appreciate it. We got to go to break. You have a great Mother's Day. Great Mother's Day for those in your life that have children there, John. You take care. All right. We'll be right back. You listen to 910 AM, the Superstation.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. but you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-556-7791.
Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-556-7791.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-571-8580. That's 1-800-571-8580.
Attention! In July 2018, Bayer announced that it will be halting its sales of Assure. The Assure birth control may break or migrate after insertion, puncturing the fallopian tube, resulting in corrective surgery to remove the device. Thousands of women have reported debilitating health problems to the FDA. In April 2018, the FDA restricted sales of Assure to protect women and required that patients receive risk information.
Please call 800-425-9539.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-556-7791.
Good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name is Robert Ficano, and we have quite a lively group here in the studio this morning. Just to finish up, we have Keith Williams, Tom Choske, and Scotty Boman. Scotty, you think it's a good bill?
I think it's an improvement over what we have. What I would actually consider a really good bill would be if they would remove the individual mandate on buying the auto insurance to begin with. Michigan's one of only 4 states that have a year in prison for driving without auto insurance. Now, there are other states
Realistically, though, nobody gets charged with that. That happens every day in Michigan, that people don't drive with insurance.
But I think criminalizing the failure to purchase a product, I find something fundamentally wrong with it. I think you'd have more competition if they realized that they were not only competing with other plans approved by the state, but if they had complete control over which plans could be offered.
Well, what about
and
this?
If people could choose not to buy any at all.
Just to finish up on that, just think about that. If I don't have to buy insurance, the insurance companies aren't going to insure a lot of people that have lesser means. Think about that. I mean, if I only have to, I'm only going to insure people that are probably going to be good drivers in terms of however they rate them, and they're probably going to be suburbanized.
Well, remember this too, and building on that, how about this, Scotty? What if there was a public option for insurance? What if there was a publicly run entity, a nonprofit entity that could provide insurance for the uninsurable from the private market?
That's a good idea.
They can't even get that in the medical.
I would first point out,
area.
as far as what he was just saying about the insurance companies not covering people with lesser means, effectively that's what you got now, because right now the rates are so high that there isn't a plan available for people with lesser means, so they're driving uninsured and breaking the law anyway.
By law, why can't we start our own insurance company?
Because the insurance companies won't let you do it here in the state of Michigan.
Why?
Yeah. They got the dollars.
They control what goes on.
But guess what? If everybody boycott them, they ain't got who they go.
Well, Scotty hit the point. We can't boycott them because they got us. Because if we boycott them, we don't do that, then we're criminally liable.
They have captive customers.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing that they did federally with the student loan companies,
Who created this system?
Matt McNeely, I have to tell you, because I worked for him back when I was up in Michigan State. Matt McNeely, who was a state rep from Southwest Detroit, is the actual author of No Fault Insurance.
What was that, 72, something like that, 71? Right around
back
there.
When I was up in Michigan State, he actually, and everybody was celebrating it, that Michigan became a no-fault state.
We thought it would reduce lawsuits.
It all reduce it and stuff like that. I remember there at the bill signing and everything else. I mean, he was very excited. He was the chair of whatever the insurance committee, whatever committee he had to go through. He had to shepherd it through and stuff like that. And he was mainly the main sponsor of it, and was a Detroit state representative for a number of years that this actually happened. Go ahead.
But, this is something, too. And as Keith mentioned, if we had a public entity that could provide insurance, we tried this with health insurance. Up until we had health insurance reform at the federal level, we talked about high-risk pooling for folks who were uninsurable or who had pre-existing conditions at the state level. That was a way we could reduce costs. That's an option that is available. In fact, actually, we tried that at the city of Detroit to offer a city of Detroit insurance that would be competitive and beat
we offered that?
Those other. We tried,
like Bob yesterday,
but then it failed.
I was with some young brothers yesterday. They're talking about education. I said, you don't need the state. If you guys are this brilliant, let's go buy up some schools. Let's get your money together. And then say, hey, like I was telling people, you've got 200,000 people put up $10. That's $4 million, close to $2 million. Let them have their money because they're not doing anything with our kids anyway. Okay.
But Scotty's saying that their parents are paying a tax anyway.
Yeah,
well,
in other words,
what I'm saying, Bob,
that's the problem private schools have faced is that they have to compete with the fact
I'm saying to 200,000 folk put up $10. That's $2 million. The average to run a school is about $2 million. I was with an educator the other day, and he showed me broke it down. So and all you're doing is going through the state bureaucracy and all that stuff. Why can't you do that with the insurance companies?
That's interesting. I read an article that in California that's very, very pro public education and everything else. There's actually been now 3 of the unions that have broken away and have said they're willing to support charter schools in private schools in California, which is, you wouldn't think that would happen in that particular state where they're starting to break away from.
Bob, what you guys are discussing this morning is about monopolies. The folks have been in business. Their families been getting the hookups. It goes from generation to generation. You can look at the names all in these processes, Bob. If you want to take control of your own destiny, why didn't give me my tools so I can do that?
We're talking monopolies. We're talking legalized monopolies. That's the one thing.
That's both legalized and non-legal.
So how do you start your own Facebook?
Huh?
How do you search your own Facebook?
I'll come up with something.
Well, I think part of it's getting the government out of the way on those things, though. I think there's a lot of
certain
libertarian.
things you like health and stuff. No, I don't want the government intrusive, okay? But this other stuff with education, our kids are not getting educated, man. So guess what? Try something different.
Agree.
You know, we've got some good schools who are out there. They're doing their work. They're public schools. We got some good private schools doing stuff. We also got some private schools that are failing. We need a bigger system than just the school. We can't put it all onto the school.
Hold on, man. I'm looking at African American kids prison the pipeline, and it's a part of the public school system. So I want to retrain my kids so they can be experts in whatever field they want to go into and educate them. The public school systems are not doing it. My kids are failing.
And the privates are doing better?
No, I'm not saying, I'm talking about quick. I know instances in Chicago, California, when African Americans the kids test scores up and everything, and the kids are moving forward. That's what I'm talking about. The public schools, I'm not against public schools, but guess what? Some got to change.
Some got to change. They got to change in the community. That's where we see the success.
No, I see the success within within us to try to change it. We can do this. We don't need the state of Michigan controlling the educational process.
Okay,
it's
real
destroying
quick,
it.
Real quick, John, you're calling back. What's on your mind here, John?
Oh, I'm with Keith. Me and Keith are agreeing again.
Oh, my God. Wow. You'll never get him to agree to Trump.
This auto insurance is just like Obamacare. The government
and saying that.
Is involved. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're getting involved at the lower level. But I agree with Keith. Hey, why should I have let me put $10 in my own little kitty somewhere and let the people take control of it. Why should the government step in?
We heard the same argument when they were talking about the Republicans wanted to make Social Security private, remember? And that was before 2008 and 9, and all of a sudden it crashed, and everybody's, I'm glad I didn't have my money in the market, Social Security.
Social Security privatized. When President Bush brought it up, he brought it up for the waitress and the little bartender at the little store. He says, if you put $100 a month in your Social Security check, why should you let the government take all that money from you? Put in your own savings account. It's for you.
Wait a minute. If they would have put it in the markets at that time, because everybody's saying, look at the markets, they were exploding. And you would have taken, instead of being able to put it in Social Security, put it in the markets, how many more people would you have to subsidize to help now because they wouldn't have had anything left?
But then why should the government take that money if it's like your home or anything else you want to give your kids? You put that money into it. Why should the government take the money that you put in that you paid for? That's your money, and it should be passed on like an inheritance check. You put that money in there, not me. I mean, you did. We did. Why should somebody from the government say, well, that's not enough, you didn't put enough in, or we're going to take it? It's not right.
Social Security is the one thing that's been working along with Medicare, really.
And Medicaid.
Social Security, the first Social Security check started with Ida Mae Fulmer when under FDR, when there was 99 guys paying them Social Security for the woman that always stayed home at the time. Okay? That's the problem. We got the government bureaucracy taking all this money. Let me tell you what. I went to the dentist, and I had a $62 tooth pulled. Okay, my insurance company charged the dentist $298. So then my insurance company, they dropped me. I said, okay, well, what does it cost me to come to you now to get my tooth pulled? They told me $72. You know what? I dropped my insurance company. When I'm on my tooth pulled or my teeth cleaned, I'll just pay out of pocket.
But that's because you can. You got a nice check that you get from the U.S. Post Office.
It doesn't matter. Oh, the insurance companies.
There are people that don't have that kind of wage, John.
No, but you got too many people with their hands in the pocket, and they're all making money, and they're hurting everybody else.
It's pretty good schemes in America, man.
Let's go to bartering. Let's go to bartering here.
Schemes, man.
All right, we got to shift a little bit here, John. We appreciate it. You take care. You have a good Sunday.
You know, Bob, it's one big Ponzi scheme, man. You know.
Listen to this.
Yeah, 3-cop Monty, man.
No, we're of the age now. I'm waiting for Social Security now.
I want my Social Security.
Yeah, I'm too close now. I'm too close.
Oh, yeah.
It is a Ponzi
Scotty, you want
scheme. What?
You want your Social Security?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I've been paying into it all these years.
Security.
Now, what I've been paying into is actually a tax, and it's going to be future taxes that would pay my Social Security.
But Scotty, that's one thing that has worked well, the Social Security system, you know.
Well, it works.
Medicare.
In other words, it works because you're taxing people to pay for something. So it works in the sense that the money's there because you're taxing it to get it. But beyond
Scotty,
that, it's not really a financially solvent system because the money's already spent.
But see, Scotty, you know, this is what bothers me about Republicans and Libertarians. They want something for free. They don't want to pay for nothing. You can't live in this world without paying.
Actually, it's the opposite. One of the mottos of the Libertarian Party is there ain't no such thing as a free lunch, with all due respect to Robert A. Heinlein.
Okay. Let's shift gears a little bit. It is Mother's Day, okay? And we want to make sure that we recognize all the mothers and what they've done. We have with us today a special guest, Lena Angott, who is head of the Detroit Club.
I am the membership director, so not quite the head.
Well, you're getting close.
Thank you.
Okay, you're moving up. We keep promoting
the one on Cass?
Yep,
yes.
Board and Cass.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand that as a mother, she has a beautiful name, Lena, because that's my mom's name, as well, ironically, on Mother's Day. And Lena, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? I know that the club is really starting to revive itself. Yourself, you've had a challenge yourself, probably as a mother here. You're pretty well a lifelong Detroiter in the sense of 31 years that you came over, immigrated from, where was it, Sweden?
Yes,
that
Sweden.
You immigrated from. And tell us a little bit, not only as thinking as a mother and some of the challenges that you faced and here in the Detroit area, but also the reviving of the Detroit Club, which is reviving like so many of the other institutions in the city of Detroit.
Well, I'd like to thank you for having me on, especially on Mother's Day. I have the honor to be part of the city. I came here, as you mentioned, 31 years ago to a city that was struggling, and now I'm part of a revival. I'm down at the Detroit Club on the corner of Ford and Cass. The club has been there in the building itself since 1892, so it has survived through all the turmoil through the city. We are now rebuilding a club that we started, we reopened a year ago, and we are going into the city welcoming a diverse membership, which I'm excited to be part of. But being part of working for a club and in a club, it does take you away from your home a lot. So my kids...
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
I have
What's
3.
their ages?
Well, they are getting up there, so 26, 22, and 16. So I have only one that is left in school, 1 more year in high school, and then he's off to college as well.
So you're in the club business. You got all these little clubs popping up downtown.
Yes.
How do you survive?
By being not exclusive, by being offering incredible food, incredible venue. We have, I say, the best food in town. Our chef McKinney and his team, they're fantastic.
Are you booking a lot more events now and things like that?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
We have, yesterday I was meeting with one of our members to plan, their wedding is in 3 weeks. We are doing other member-related events. We have networking events.
If I want to join as a member, what are the advantages to me joining your club?
So you have, joining the club, you have a space to take your client. We have a lot of people that are doing business in Detroit. They are bringing clients into the city, so you have a free place of meeting with your clients. It extends your workplace, so you have an office within the club. There is no charge for using the rooms. So at any time, you can give me a call or the front desk and check if there's a room.
What number should they call?
They should call 313-338-3222, and speak to the front desk agent. They will direct them to me or the events department, and we will help them reserve a room. And for a member, there is no charge.
So what is the membership fee?
Depends on your age.
I'm 63 years old. Everybody know that.
We're gonna charge him a lot of money.
Hey, I'm 63 out there, but I'm in good shape too. I'm not with a guy with a big beer belly.
So for someone in your age group, so anyone, so you fall into it's called a resident membership, and that is 35 years old and up. So we're all one, and that is $275 a month. We do not have any food and beverage minimum. That is basically it. It's a household membership. So if you have a spouse or a significant other, they have also full access to the club.
You have corporation memberships?
Yes, we do.
My nonprofit.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your nonprofit. How much does that cost?
Yes. Hey, because I'm downtown. I need to meet you guys. You vultures downtown.
I forgot, how important you are. I forgot. Okay.
No, I'm down there with you vultures, man. So I got to have access to the network, man.
So you do. So you can join us also as a corporate member with your company or your network, and that actually saves you per person $100 a month. So it's $175 a month.
It's a big thing. Repasses. Because
what do you call it?
Repass. After the funeral, they come back together and eat and all that other stuff. You ought to look into that because African Americans do a lot of that. There's a lot of folks doing repasses.
Well, we do celebrations of all kinds at the club.
I like how she said it. You do celebration of all kinds.
Yeah. Well, you celebrate. There are events, you celebrate, and we do have that. We also offer, we have a wonderful spa at the club. You can come and enjoy. Members get 25% off all those services, as well as a 10-room boutique hotel, which is
and we
beautiful.
have and actually you were brought to our attention by our police commissioner here that has joined us, and Willie Burton, and he has I know there's a business breakfast that's coming up this week.
Yep.
And one of the two of you tell us about it.
So
okay. He's being shy here this morning. All right.
So as I came into the Detroit Club last fall, I reached out to all the members and said, this is your club. What do you want to see? So one of our members, his name is Oliver Stahl, he came to me and said, I would like to see a business networking breakfast. Can you help me start it? And I said, of course, let's go. So we decided to do it the third Thursday morning of every month at 7 a.m. Members and invited guests come. We have a complimentary breakfast, and we have a featured speaker and it has to do tied into the city of Detroit and the benefits of the city.
So something similar to Pancakes and Politics.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, so we serve a complimentary breakfast. You come in, it's networking mingle, and we have a speaker. And this Thursday morning, we have Commissioner Burton coming in.
Go ahead. I have grits in politics.
Yeah?
I do.
Yeah, he does.
I does. Grits in politics, man. We can talk.
Yeah, we can.
We have grits in politics, and you got to have shrimp grits and all that other stuff.
Yeah, we have yogurt and granola and fresh fruit.
We're talking about biscuits and we're talking about high-calorie stuff, okay? No, seriously, we should talk about that because the Chronicle puts on grits on pancakes
and politics.
Yes, and I put on grits and politics.
Yeah. It's the common person here. That's the common person.
You ain't no grits, Bob. You ate some grits before.
I've eaten grits,
yeah.
but I got celiac, so I can't continue to eat them.
Well, see.
I like the granola thing.
When you from the hood, man, it be like grits and bacon and stuff, man.
Yeah, bacon I love.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's bad for you, too.
Yeah, I know. It's all bad. Yeah. Willie, what are you going to talk about here this Thursday?
I just wanted to say that, Lena does a great job over at the Detroit Club and also a great job here in the city of Detroit. So I just wanted to start off by saying that, as far as the members and stuff over at the Detroit Club coming together, coming up with this good theme as far as business breakfast, I think is something that's very important right here in our city of Detroit. So this Thursday I'll be talking about public safety.
And the police activities more and more becoming an awareness probably for downtown, because there's been suddenly there was 3 shootings in Greektown and 4 shootings in Greektown and things like that.
Bob, they are the most protected place in the universe in Detroit. You got DPD, Wayne State Police, Henry Ford Police, DMC Police. Man, all security, they're protecting that.
Wayne County Sheriffs.
Yeah, they got the sheriff. Man, what more do you want down in Midtown? It's going to always be a few fools down there. But, Bob, come on. The hood is getting left out of the process.
That's always been the big argument, right?
It's real, Bob.
I know.
Bob, I'm over at, what's the thing about Wayne State? What's the that group over by Wayne State? What's the name of that group? They mad at Wayne State because Wayne State getting ready to put this new arena down there.
The $25 million one?
Yes.
With the Pistons?
Yes. Okay, Bob. Our kids need to see stuff like that. Everybody can't play at the rich folks where, they're building more parking lots than apartment buildings, okay? But what I'm saying, man, so this folks, they getting all the benefits of Wayne State, but they want to control green space. Everything about green space, you mess with green space, parking, what you call them things, bike paths and all that. Come on, Bob.
Hey, Keith, you might want to get a membership at the Detroit Club.
Yeah.
Man, green space, Bob.
Come on down to the Cats.
Yeah, you get free parking at any time.
Yeah, I'm going to join. My nonprofit going to join. But Bob, I'm just saying, I'm tired of all these folks. They sit back there, then they says, well, I control you. I elected you. Okay, duh. You only one vote. Come on, Bob.
But you know with the shootings and stuff down in Greektown, one thing I can say is that Chief James Craig has definitely stepped up patrol downtown in Detroit. Not to mention
but is that at the expense of anything else?
But Willie,
Willie,
I saw 20 mini bikes going down 7 Mile. Where was the police then? Okay, come on, man. You can't give all the juice downtown, man.
I agree. I agree. I'm with you on that, Keith. I'm with you on that. Man. Hey, but the thing about this is that when you got Fort Field, you got you got Comerica Ballpark, you protecting
rich folks' interests. Man.
No, you got hundreds of thousands of people in concentrated areas, and everybody is migrating over towards Greektown and things of that nature. So you do have to have some type of police presence.
Really, you're rich. You get your own police force. We got problems in beyond Woodward. You might as well put a wall on Woodward and say, and put a toll fee going in downtown, man.
Now, I can honestly say this. Chief Craig has, him and his team has stepped up some patrol and stuff in the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Now, everybody know I tell it like it is. If I have a problem with the department, I'll be the first to say it. So I'm no rubber stamp here. I can honestly say that Chief Craig and his team has stepped up patrol and stuff for the neighborhoods, and is right now his plan, far as continue to increase patrol in those efforts is something that he's doing right now. I like to see where the city of Detroit is at in the next 6 months as far as reducing violence. But right now, I can honestly say that.
I have utmost respect. I have utmost respect for you guys, man. The chief and all this other stuff, man. But there's so many cops down in Midtown and downtown. They're running into each other, man. And the brothers in the hood, man. And they patrolling the hood with their own ideas.
But a lot of the officers that you see in the downtown area are, we do have downtown service.
You might as well get the National Guard. Y'all got the National Guard Army on Grand River, too.
We have downtown services, number one. Used to be the first precinct, but now it's downtown services. But we also have officers that work in secondary employment, that those officers are hired by the local businesses. Now, let me share this with you real quick. So when you see an officer that's on secondary employment, that officer is working overtime, and that's at the expense of the local businesses and stuff in the downtown area.
It looks like we've lit up the lines a little bit with this.
Yeah, it's
like
one big sucking sound.
But
one big sucking sound.
But we but we still got a long way to go.
Yeah,
you know,
that was Ross Perot, by the way.
The problem didn't start overnight.
He told the truth.
It's not going to happen, you know.
But Willie, don't come. I love you, brother, but you selling something. They got so much protection down there, and you go to my neighborhood. I'm telling you, money bikes all in the neighborhood. Guys doing what they want to do. Come on, man. Rich folks need to pay for their own toys.
You know what, Keith?
They need to pay for their own toys.
Keith, I have respect for you and what you doing over with the sheriff's department. I admire you. I want to invite you next year. This year. The next time we have the Above and Beyond Awards, so you can hear.
Could you explain to me what is Beyond? Beyond?
Above and Beyond Awards. I want you to hear the testimonies from some of these brave men and women from the Detroit Police Department and Fire Department, because it was just recently, not long ago, where a woman was in the Detroit River. You had an officer jumped in to rescue her, but guess what? He's trying to hold on. Now we about to lose him.
Okay.
So I got to share this, please, Bob. So the thing about it is, the officer calls in, for help, and looking in that time frame, now he's about to lose his partner. So you know what he does? He jumps in behind his partner. So now you got 2 Detroit officers in the Detroit River holding on to a woman who's pregnant, by the way. So our officers goes a long way as far as keeping citizens safe here in the city of Detroit.
Off the Belle Isle Bridge, if I remember.
Willie, I'm there.
And
hold on,
both officers, came out to survive. They survived. The woman who was carrying a child, she survived. And I think she named her baby after the officer, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm there at the Wayne County Sheriff's every day, and I know what those brothers do in the jails and stuff. I admire those folks in the city of Detroit and all they put their life on the line. I'm with them, okay? I understand it, okay? But rich folks need to pay for their toys, okay? Them folks come down there when baseball season over with. They get all the coverage, and then when the baseball season when it's over with, they still get coverage, okay? And I'm saying you got 4 policing entities downtown. Okay. In the neighborhoods. I'm just talking about the neighborhoods.
We got a number of callers, but also on Comerica, they do pay now for the officers to
be there. They had, Bob, it just recently.
Just recently they started
but
paying
they're still
for
building parking lots, too.
Keith, we do have to increase more patrolling for the neighborhoods. That's something I've been advocating from day one since I've been on the commission. But on the police commission, that's something I've been advocating from day one. But I can honestly say that Chief Craig has looked into those looking into different strategies and hot spots where to beef up patrol, and he's actually doing it. The question is where are we going to be in 6 months from now as far as continue to lower crime?
Let's get to some of the callers here. Jackie, you're on with the panel.
Good morning. I'm enjoying your program.
Well, thank you.
What I've learned from the shootings in Greektown is that we have all of those police departments down there, and they cannot stop crime. What we have to do is to find out what is the source of the crime. You can't police. It's just not possible, and it's shown there in Greektown with all of those police departments there, and they could not prevent that. We have to find the source of crime and work on that. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks, Jackie.
I want to say thank the caller who just called in and just shared that. But I also want to just add to the caller real quick is that, those shootings that just recently took place in downtown Greektown. Greektown is actually my district, Commissioner Willie Burton's district. And, it's sad when I hear any type of shooting here in the city for that matter. But those shootings that took place down in Greektown, those were not Detroiters. Number one is the Detroiters is not just coming downtown packing their heat. Number one,
were they from the suburbs that were the shooters?
These shooters right here were not. They was from outside of Detroit. Detroiters know they got Project Green Light. They got officers on the beat and every single thing. But the thing about it is these individuals were not from Detroit.
Okay,
and arrest was made, by the way.
Okay, Bob and Walter, hold on. We're going to get to you after the break. Lena, we're going to have a couple more minutes with you right after the break. We sort of swung
All
into
right. Sounds
into
good.
the crime thing here a little bit. And you're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. We'll be right back.
This is Reverend Sharpton, and on the last Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh, I just don't count the votes. They're not there when the vote. They just get
I just answered you before, sir, that I know thousands of people that are in the rooms when the votes come in. Every candidate has people in the room. When I run, I have people in the room. Everybody running is going to have people in the room when the count comes in. The question is making sure we get the right count. The count does not come from them counting ballots. The count comes through technology. This is not 1890. We're not having people at the courthouse standing in line or the schoolhouse and you see the ballot. The question is making sure you have the right voting companies, that they're not hacked or not in any way eliminated. You could have everybody in the world in the room. They will be in the room getting the wrong numbers. So keep it real daily with me, Al Sharpton.
The 910 AM app has been integrated with Alexa and is now live in the App Store. To use 910 AM on your Alexa device, you can say Alexa commands in two ways. If your Fire TV device has a microphone button, you can hold down the microphone button to say the commands. If you've linked your Echo or Echo Dot to your Fire TV, you can use the trigger word Alexa without pushing your microphone buttons to say commands. Start listening to 910 AM Superstation now from the comfort of your home. Stay up to date with current events and breaking news on our Facebook page. Search and like 910 AM Superstation on Facebook, and you'll see everything new, everything exciting, and all things Detroit. 910 AM Superstation News on Facebook Live right now. The 910 AM live stream can now be seen on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, YouTube Red, iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, Amazon Kindle Fire, any Windows phone. Or watch us live at 910amsuperstation.com.
Have you been denied credit or hit with high interest rates? A low credit score happens to many of us, and millions of people are victims of incorrect items on their credit reports and don't even know it. That's why you need credit repair now. Our proven process has resulted in past clients seeing on average 11 negative items removed from their credit report and a 40-point increase after the first 4 months in our program. Call now and request your credit report and credit score for free in minutes.
Call 1-800-783-9197.
Listen up, America. Are you or a loved one suffering with an addiction to alcohol, opiates, prescription painkillers, or other drugs? There is hope. Medication-assisted treatment is proven most effective for opiate addiction recovery. Utilizing medications such as methadone, Suboxone, and Subutex, combined with inpatient treatment, you can achieve lasting recovery. Most insurance is accepted, so call us now.
Please call 800-625-5860.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-556-7791.
Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. The Fresh Start program is one of the biggest tax breaks the IRS has offered. Call Tax Group Center at 800-685-6150 to see if you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. Their team of tax experts and attorneys will get you the best tax settlement possible. Call 800-685-6150 now to learn if you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program. Call Tax Group Center at 800-685-6150. 800-685-6150.
Are you drowning in debt? Struggling just to make minimum payments? It's not your fault. Serious debt can happen to anyone, but there is hope. Our debt-free program has helped thousands of good people, just like you, eliminate their credit card debt. Call us today and we will dramatically reduce your credit card debt down to just a fraction of what you owe. The call is free. The consultation is free. Take control of your credit debt. Take control of your life again. Call now to see how our debt-free program can work for you.
Call 800-872-5230.
Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and this is Atomic Beam USA, another bright idea from Bulbhead, the ultra-bright, tough-grade flashlight that features tactical technology used by U.S. Special Forces. This flashlight has a feeble 125 lux output. The Atomic Beam USA has up to 5,000 lux. That's 40 times more. We're going to drop it hundreds of feet from this helicopter. It hits the tarmac, and it's still working. That's what I call a tough flashlight. Heavy downpours, mud puddles, even extreme temperatures are no match. You could spend over $100, or the Atomic Beam USA can be yours for just $19.99 with free lifetime guarantee. Order now, you can double it and get a second Atomic Beam USA. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll even ship them to you for free. Atomic Beam USA is just $19.99. Order now.
Call 1-800-638-2619 to get your Atomic Beam USA. Call now or go to atomicbeam.com. So call 1-800-638-2619. Deluxe version available. Order now.
We're the hottest station in town. Whatever you need, it's right here on 910 AM Superstation. The most powerful voices in the urban community.
3, 2, 1.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation.
The best in the city.
WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media.
And good morning. You're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. My name is Robert Ficano. We're here this morning with several guests. We have Lena Angott, who's the membership chair of the Detroit Club downtown, just recently renovated, right, Lena?
Yes. The building went through a full restoration. It took 4 years. It has, from top to bottom, fully restored. It's one of the older buildings in Detroit. It was actually designed by Wilson Air, and we start in the best basement in Detroit is always what I prep people for. We have a beautiful fitness center, an incredible spa where our members and guests come in and do a staycation. They will come and get some services done, have dinner in our beautiful restaurant, and also spend the night in our boutique hotel rooms. And
what's the exact location?
It is 7112 Cass, the corner of Fort and Cass. You can even take the People Mover and get off at the Fort Cass station.
Now, I know a lot of newspaper executives used to meet there all the time.
Yes.
In fact, some of the publishers, when I was sheriff and county exec, they used to, when I have lunch, we used to go there. And the best part is they used to pick up the tab all the time because it was a club. But no, I know, are the newspaper people coming back there quite a bit?
We do. We have the president of the Free Press is there and is a member, and we do actually, if people that are familiar with the building, we have a walking bridge that is actually attached to the old Free Press building, and that is where we have now our brand new cigar bar, which is very well.
Okay.
We see a lot of people come there and enjoy. So I'm hoping one day to reopen the secret doorway into the Free Press building. That would be fun.
And we're here with Police Commissioner Willie Burton, and he's going to be the speaker this coming Thursday for your business networking. Yes. Any insight more of what you're going to talk about here, Willie?
You know, I'd rather for people to come on down the Cass.
You're not giving away any secrets.
What's the address? 712 Cass?
Yes, it is.
Come on down at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you'll hear more about public safety and also about business.
Okay.
And also anyone that wants a tour, I will be there. Show the building. It's the most beautiful building in Detroit.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil the fun and the excitement. It's a beautiful facility, by the way.
And Lena, you said you're a mother. Just how difficult is it to have 3 kids and be a full-time working mom and everything else?
It is difficult. I have very understanding children, but there are times where you cannot go to if they have a commitment in school or be there to support them. And sometimes, well, today in modern age, you can FaceTime, which is a nice feature. So, but it is difficult in times, but my kids know that I always am there for them. So
that's great. And it sounds like you're doing a good job. We look forward to it. Okay, a couple more callers. We're going to finish up here and then probably jump back into some more of the politics. Bob, you're on with the panel.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
You know, when you're talking about the police chief, as far as I'm concerned, the police chief, I'd be glad and he go and the mayor go too, because all the police chiefs talking about is and putting more policemen downtown in Greektown, but he don't care nothing about the neighborhoods. I had a friend 3 years ago get killed downtown, and you got all kind of cameras down there. Now, why the investigator couldn't go to them business and see if they can find out who did this situation? The chief, they need to get rid of this weak chief. All he is a downtown, midtown chief. He don't care nothing about the people in the neighborhood, and the average crook out here know it. They can pinpoint. They know the police ain't coming when the people's call them. So he need to go, and the mayor need to go.
Okay, Bob. I mean, just as a side note, I know that there are a lot of cameras, and it is my understanding that the businesses do cooperate if there is an incident, that they'll give you the footage of what there is.
Protecting all his assets.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Bob. And I want to just say, about 6 years ago, we didn't have what we have today as far as police oversight. And then we didn't have the type of technology that we're using today versus 6 years ago. So the technology that we're using today is Project Greenlight to help combat crime in certain areas throughout the city of Detroit. We started off with 8 locations. Right now, we are over 516 Greenlight locations. The Police Board of Commissioners, we did vote on Greenlight. It was actually Chief Craig's recommendation before the board, and it was an unanimous decision. And so we have Greenlight. In addition,
well, a friend of mine, I couldn't off when be long. A friend of mine got killed working at the Renaissance Center where I worked at 40 years. He worked midnights. He was a lady was getting robbed, and they shot him in his car. My thing is, that technology they got down there, I remember when they put that technology in there. Security showed me that camera was focused all the way, all downtown Windsor. You can see what's going on. And then you right in the same, and you right outside of the Renaissance Center, that technology they got in security since GM took over.
So let me tell you,
if it had been somebody white that got killed instead of him, they would have been dead on the case. They can find, just like the boys, the young brothers in Greektown, I don't care if they didn't live in the city of Detroit, they found out, they solved that case quick.
Here's the benefit of Greenlight. Now, I just throw this out there with you real quick. One of the benefits of Greenlight is that you can upload images that can lead towards arrest. And what happens now with Greenlight is Detroit police can make arrests a lot sooner than they were before, because the local businesses wouldn't give their surveillance videos over to law enforcement, and Detroit had to go through a whole lot of battle trying to get businesses to release footages about 6, 7, 8 years ago. Now we don't have that the case. We don't have that as an issue anymore, because businesses are signing up to go Greenlight, and therefore the police department can monitor those local businesses. And then they also do virtual patrol. And that seems to be working. So that's another area that the Detroit Police Department is helping combat crime. Another thing is we didn't have NPOs, neighborhood police officers, 7 years ago. That's something new as far as helping combat crime. So now you're starting to see more visibility within a 1 mile radius in your community, where that officer is out there making those rounds, not only to the business community, but also to everyday residents like yourself. These are tools that are working in the right direction. Yes, we still have crime. Yes, crime is still high in certain areas, but also crime are down in some categories as well.
Okay, just as a sidelight, what people may not be aware of with the Charter Commission that's now active is we talk about oversight, Bob. One of the issues that always comes up is whether the Police Commission is going to continue on, and that might be one of the issues that the Charter Commission would be looking at. So no system's perfect, but I think people have agreed that the oversight provided by the Police Commission is at least something is definitely a step in the right direction. And if that gets eliminated in the new charter, you're back to just simply executive action, controlling what happens in the police
Well, I
department
agree
at this
with you,
point.
Bob, and it's nice talking to you. All I can say is that put more policemen in the areas, in the neighborhoods, and stop taking 20 policemen and putting them down there when they had a charter commission meetings. Put them out there where they belong.
You know what? Stay on the phone. I'm glad you said that. We do not need to have that level of police presence at a charter commissioner meeting. I agree with you. I'm with you 110%. But we do have officers out there on the beat and out there doing their job. Now, I want to ask you this question, sir. What area you feel that police need to step up their patrol? In what area, so I can relate that back to the department when I get in the office on Monday?
Well, quite a few areas. Dexton, Fullerton, Schoolcraft, near Burt Road. Put them all over the city, all on the east side. Put all the policemen that you have, when you do have them out there, the folks that's running around with no car insurance, dodging the police, they don't have no problem pulling them people over and towing their cars and stuff like that. But put them out there for that carjack out there. Put them out there, the person, the first of the month that's going to rob that senior citizen that's trying to go to the grocery store. Put them out there visible.
Carjacking is actually down in the city of Detroit.
They think because of the towing contracts were eliminated.
Yeah, Bob, I'm going to tell you, my car got stolen in front of my house. And I went to the police station, to make a report. And when I went to get my car, the towing company met me with my car. When I got it, he was coming down the street, So there's some games. There's a criminal enterprise going on in that.
Yeah, they started to eliminate that, and it's my understanding that the number of car thefts has dramatically gone down because of the towing companies have been reevaluated. I don't know what better word you could use. And in terms of that, the exact experience that you just had was the one they're trying to eliminate. Bob, thank you. We got a number of callers we got to
thank you very
get to.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Walter. Walter, you're on with the panel here.
All right, Bob, and get buckle up, get ready.
All right, Walter, tell
Fireworks.
us about it.
and Keith, by the way, Keith, please don't talk over me this time. I know you like talking and hearing yourself on the radio, but
okay, Walter, let's get to the point. Go ahead, Walter.
If you live in Detroit, here's some practical advice. Run for your life. Okay.
That's why I have to talk because you come over crazy.
Get him, Keith. Get him, Keith.
Why you talking crazy stuff? I'm sitting up here being peaceful. Sunday morning, I'm trying to get connected to my God. Then the devil comes on the radio.
Keith, you can relate to this. Detroit needs a spiritual and a political awakening. The reason
I don't disagree with that.
You don't disagree with that?
And I don't disagree with that.
Jesus, in the Old Testament, the Word of God says, the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all those people that forget him. Detroit, like many other cities, cannot separate their plight from their politics. Detroit, and by the way, the few black folks that call all these talk shows on this station, always complaining about Duggan, needs to go, and Chief Craig, they're the only ones that don't like them is the ones that call you short, a few handful of blacks. Most of the blacks in Detroit, they like Duggan and Chief Craig. So I ain't buying that foolishness. And you cannot separate your plight from the Democrat Party. If you're a Democrat,
I take the fifth.
I love my elected officials.
I love everybody.
I'm a black Trump thumper.
Yeah, guess what?
Yeah. And there's somebody that has a problem.
Yeah, he got a lot of problems. And eventually, he's going to be in jail after he loses in 2020.
AKA, you just dreaming as usual. He ain't going nowhere.
Can I ask you a question? If he's this great businessman, if you lost $1 billion, you'd have been ran out the world, man.
What you say, Keith?
If you would have lost $1 billion, I would have made sure you would have never got on any radio station.
Listen, AKA. I know you voted for Obama, got a tingle up your
Yes,
leg.
I love Obama.
Yeah,
I love Obama.
We voted for him twice. Go ahead.
You got a guy with he's pink, man. You ever seen a guy that look like strawberry, old strawberry?
Hey, AKA, what you keep? I know y'all voted for Obama after 8, 9, 10 years of Obama.
Donald Trump look like an old strawberry.
Listen, I know you hate Donald Trump. But
y'all dropping lugs on everybody else. Look at him, man.
Obama is the food stamp president.
And what is Donald Trump?
President. Donald Trump is the garbage president. Prosperity. I know you hate him. You're lying. You call yourself a preacher.
Walter, do any of your relatives, or do you work for the auto industry in Detroit?
Do I work for the auto industry?
Yeah.
In Detroit. Where that question come from?
You're talking about Obama. They wouldn't be around if it wasn't for President Obama and what he did for the auto industry.
You still talking about the job-killing president auto industry.
Guess what? The economy that Donald Trump is claiming was Barack Obama's economy. When Barack became president, he didn't have the country going in the toilet when Barack Obama became president.
That's what actually elected him.
Yes.
You're making it up, AKA.
Okay. We got numbers.
Tell the strawberry president we say hello.
Walter, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Walter.
Okay, next up we have Joe. Joe, you're on with the panel here.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. And lady. We have a lady on the panel, too. Go ahead.
Beautiful lady.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. All right. This is for Mr. Willie. Mr. Willie, this is Mr. Detroit.
Mr. Detroit, how you doing?
Right on. Okay, swell. Now, I want to get the record straight. Chief Craig is a Detroiter like me, so he loves Detroit. And plus, he's the best chief in the United States. What makes him the best chief in the United States? He holds his officers accountable. He let them know up front, when you mess up, you're going to get locked up or fired. Ain't no other police chief in the country sides with the public over his officers. He do not side with his officers. That's why you don't have a lot of officers going shot crazy and messing over the peoples like they do in other cities. Right. He do not side with his officers. He let them know up front. Now, when you mess up, you're going to get locked up and fired just like everybody else. So that's what makes him the best chief in the country. All right, y'all gentlemen, have a good day.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Go ahead, Mr. Detroit, I want to say, you're right. You're right on. Chief Craig is consistent across the board. And, he's appeared to be the best chief that we had in many years.
Man, I worked for Benny Napoleon, man. He was a great. You can't make that. There's been a lot of good police chiefs, man.
No, there has been a lot of great chiefs police. You're absolutely right, Keith. I agree with you on that. But when Chief Craig arrived, I just want to say this here. When Chief Craig arrived, we have gone through like 5 chiefs or something in a very short period of time. And since then, he has been consistent across the board. He has been continuing to make great strides, and he brought Project Greenlight here. And I'm looking at what Greenlight is doing, as far as that's helping law enforcement makes arrests in a timely manner. Along with those neighborhood police officers that we didn't have before, that we have today. So,
man, there's been, we throw that word "great" out there loosely, and there's been a bunch of good police chiefs in the city of Detroit. And time dictates certain things, okay? And so I take my hat off to Chief Craig, what he's doing. But I work for a guy, the Sheriff Napoleon, who's doing a wonderful job. He did a wonderful job. There's always going to be issues. When you're dealing with a society, man, that lacks resources, what do you expect people to do? You're going to have crime and stuff. And so that's what he gets paid for.
Benny was great when he was the chief of police, too. Benny, I'm going to say the whole name. Benny Napoleon was an excellent chief of police when he was the chief of police. Bob Ficano was an excellent sheriff when he was the sheriff of the sheriff department. These are extraordinary men that done a great job as far as turning things around, a problem solver. The thing about this is what make things unique here is that we didn't have the technology we have today. 6 years ago. I'm looking to see where things is going to go. I don't support the, having the facial recognition software and stuff like traffic lights, but I do support Greenlight for what it's doing.
We're getting up to the break. I want Tom and Jackie to hold on right after the break. So for right now, though, I know that Lena, we want to appreciate you coming on the show, talking about Mother's Day, but more importantly, I guess, Mother's Day is always important, but I should say also the Detroit Club. And good luck with what you've been doing with it, not only with your career there, but also as a mother as well. So
thank you very much. Thanks for letting me to come on here.
I want to get your car because I do want to join.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
awesome.
You recruited somebody here.
Hey, Bob,
that is awesome.
Hey, Bob, but let me say this to you. You know, I'm driving through Detroit now. There's a truck on every corner with flowers and all that other stuff. And I welcome that for the mothers. But when Father's Day come, I will see the same trucks.
I don't think you're going to, Keith, but that's okay. Appreciate it. Lena, again, appreciate it that you came on and talking to us. And
thank you very much.
Thank you, Lena. Good luck. Okay. We're going to be right back. Tom and Jackie, hold on. We'll get right back to you.
I'm gonna take more time with you and be a friend to me.
We all love fried food, but the problem is all that excess oil and fat can cause you to become overweight. Well, now there's the Cook Light Aero Fryer, an amazing kitchen miracle that uses air to fry instead of oil, so you can have the same delicious flavor and crispiness of deep frying using little or no oil. Get that deep fried taste and crispiness with up to 70% fewer calories. Enjoy crispy, delicious fries with little or no oil, guilt-free onion rings, cheesy and delicious mozzarella sticks. Call now and bring the Cook Light Aero Fryer into your home, including the Cook Light Aero Fryer recipe book, the unique patented dual tray, air frying mesh basket and tongs, and stainless steel extender ring. You'll get it all for 5 easy payments of $29.95. Be one of the first 500 callers and get this 13-piece knife set, a $175 value, yours free. Try Cook Light Aero Fryer for 30 days. If you don't love it, send it back, but keep the 13-piece knife set as our gift to you. Order in the next 10 minutes and we'll include free shipping. Call now or go online to air2fry.com. That's air2fry.com.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-379-4799, 800-379-4799.
Good morning. This is 910 AM, the Superstation. Okay, Tom Choske is here with us, Keith Williams, and Police Commissioner Willie Burton. My name is Robert Ficano. Okay, we have a couple more callers that we're going to finish up with. Jackie, you're on.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask this question. Is our goal to combat crime? And when you say combat crime, does that mean arresting people? Or does that mean finding out why these people are committing crimes and then solve that problem? And then we need less police and cameras. That's what I don't understand.
You know, I can say is that before green light arrived, it was hard for local law enforcement to be able to go to those businesses and get their footage. It was hard. A lot of these businesses didn't even have proper cameras that was working properly or good lighting system.
That's not quite my question. My question is, do we need less police and more money delved into why people are committing crimes and try to solve that problem?
Well, because
I don't see
poverty.
Jackie, preventive programs are always more fruitful, but the problem is they aren't, as, for lack of a better word, as sexy for the media and everybody else. What gets a lot of media attention? There's a drug raid. They're with the police. They're banging down the door and they're running in and they're making arrests. Okay, prevention programs in schools and things like that. Yeah, they might get some attention, but it doesn't get the same attention. And the media, let's face it, if it bleeds, it leads. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Perhaps a question that should be asked to anyone that's arrested for crime, is there any way that we could have stopped this crime before you did it? What could we have done to have helped you?
Man, can I say something? Can I say something to you? Crime is, it's a substance. It's so entailed. You got to get back to the education system. Kids, if you're not being educated, and then there's no resources for those kids, and then you get up in age and you're not educated, you're going to do stuff, okay? And then what the system has done, it takes the resources that can help those folks. They take them out of resources, and guess what they do? They create a prison to pipeline system.
We got to how we fight crime here in the city of Detroit. We have to be able to grow jobs. Without
it's an education thing. Education, you gotta have the education skill set to get the job.
Okay, let me just say this, and I'll hang up. We know that there's something wrong when you're 5% of the population, or the world population, and you have 25% of the prisoners, more than any other country. There's something wrong with the system. But we keep building on that same system, thinking that it's going to work. We're going to put cameras in. We're going to put more police down here. We're going to have 5 different kinds of police down here. When you really haven't looked at the problem, that's probably a lot cheaper to repair than the ways that we're doing it. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks, Jackie. Tom, you're on with the panel.
Yeah, good morning, and first of all, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies in the listening audience.
Thank you.
Now to the person who wanted to sit there and browbeat President Obama about the auto loans. Listen, President Obama, this is a direct quote. He said this: though it may not be the popular thing to do, it's the right thing to do, to continue those auto loans. And I believe, given credit where it's due, that's the start on the W, George W. Bush, right there. Because had he not continued those auto loans, this country would have went over the waterfall into an abyss of a depression not seen since the likes of the 29 depression. And we would probably still be struggling right now from that, because the analysts said if GM and Chrysler would have went over, Ford would have
gone down because they didn't have the suppliers.
Yeah, but Tom, you are so correct. But this is what bothers me. You got those.
They did.
You got those guys in Macomb County work for the plants, and they vote for Donald Trump. And Donald, they vote against their own interests, and that don't get the Democrats saved their butt. But because he was let's get real about this. Because Barack Obama was a black man, they didn't want to give him no credit. That's what that's all about.
They did get the bailout because the big scare that was hanging over everyone's head is, well, if we don't do that, they'll go bankrupt. Well, they went bankrupt. So I don't see what really good that all did.
Those jobs would have been eliminated.
Yes.
They would have lost.
Well, that's what they were saying about if they didn't make the loans, the jobs would be eliminated because they'd go bankrupt. Well, they gave them the loans, they went bankrupt, and the jobs weren't all eliminated.
No. The loans were tied to the bankruptcy.
The process of bankruptcy, okay? And they came out, to use, for lack of a better way to put it, they came out clean and they started a new company, all right? Just like with DPS. You got the old DPS, and you got the new DPS, and you got the old GM, and you got the new GM. You got the old Chrysler, and you got the new Chrysler. So, and then let me switch a track here. Going to the cameras to be placed on these lights. Me, myself, personally, I wouldn't care if we had a police officer standing on every corner in this city. I mean, because me, myself, I live a good life. I live a clean life. I'm not going out there thinking about waylaying anybody. And as far as, like, say, the cameras on the street lights, I'm not out here with another woman that I'm not supposed to be with, okay, to be a little bit funny right there. But, I mean, it seems to me that if we had more police officers, like I said, on every corner, people complain about, well, we're living in a police state. But right now, we've got, and God bless those officers, okay, let me say that. But right now, the situation is police are undermanned, and they could very well be outgunned. And I agree with the other caller in terms of Chief Craig and how he, handles the police. He's out on the front of things, and hey, he doesn't stand up there and take up for an officer. If you do wrong, hey, you're gonna, you're gonna suffer the consequences. And so, like I said, Chief Craig. I mean, I know he's here under contract because of Kevin Orr and the emergency manager and that kind of thing. But I don't have a problem with what Chief Craig is doing. And and then too, I know I saw it the other day. Detroit's rated the second most dangerous city in the country. Well, okay, granted, there is too much crime that goes on in this city for the city of the size that it is, okay? But it's what it is, and all we can do is be ever vigilant, and I'm talking about even the community, for people to, join in these police community relations organizations, and like I say, if you see something, say something, because listen, that nonsense that goes on out there in the street, somebody knows something, and somebody knows who did it. And
exactly.
All you got to do is, from back in the day, open up your mouth and drop a dime on crime.
But one of the concerns is that if they open up their mouth and say something, is there going to be retribution, which is always the issue we always had to deal with in terms of, people turning other people in.
Right. I can't argue with that. And it's like, better thee than me in terms of my life and what have you. But, but like I said, somebody always knows something about, some of this craziness that goes on.
To the caller, you just mentioned something about Detroit is ranked the second most dangerous city, big city in America. And, it was me, Commissioner Willie Burton, once said some months ago that Chief Craig must resign as deputy mayor and focus full-time on policing the city of Detroit. So today you hear me saying that Chief Craig is a good mayor. Is a good chief of police. He is. I think some of the things that he implemented, as far as Project Greenlight and also the neighborhood police officers, I think that seems to be working. I do like to see him focus more in this arena, as far as as the chief, to continue to help combat crimes, and turn crime around in the city. But other than that, he's still one of the better chiefs that we had in quite some time. And I think if he can focus more in this area, I think we're going to see crime to lower once he's able to separate those two roles, deputy mayor, or whatever. I think if he's, but other than that.
But you know what? In terms of him being a deputy mayor, that is a ceremonial position. And what happens if Mayor Duggan is not in town? Okay, he's like the person in charge. And I don't really believe that is taking away from his ability to run the police department. I really don't.
Well, you feel that it don't, but others feel that what happens when there's a meeting that the mayor cannot sit in on, then who sits in and make those decisions in that meeting. But one of the things I can say is that the technology the police department has today, we didn't have that 6-7 years ago. I think the department is moving in the right direction with Chief Craig, but we still got work to do as far as lowering crime here in the city of Detroit. But, could you ask for a better chief at this time? I would say no. If Chief Craig is the right chief right now for the job, I say right now, we got the time for the administration to put more resources behind Chief Craig so him and his team can be able to get the job done on the ground.
I wanted to comment on the accountability thing, because you're bringing up a lot of people that Chief Craig is holding officers accountable, but we can't just depend on the chief to do that. And that's why I think it was important that we keep a strong board of police commissioners and perhaps even strengthen them more. And Robert Ficano over here, he had mentioned earlier that the charter is up for revision and that there was a possibility that we could lose some of that. Well, I just wanted to point out this, especially in light of the fact that there's been such focus for those paying attention to the charter process on factionalism and disagreements among the commissioners. Back when the election was going on, my organization, Detroit Residents Advancing Civilian Oversight, DRACO, had candidate questionnaires for the candidates. And I'm just kind of glancing at my summary of the results here. And I just want to say the following elected commissioners all agreed very strongly, and it was a detailed questionnaire. It wasn't just vaguely saying, do you support strong civilian oversight, which everyone would say yes. It was very specific. And on all the points, almost all the points, Tracy Peters, Joanna Underwood, Laura Hughes, Nicole Small, Carol Elaine Weaver. Not necessarily all in the same faction, not necessarily voting as a block, you might know. All those people agreed on the very strong civilian oversight points and the specific questions that we were asking them. So I'm fairly optimistic that civilian oversight in some form of elected police commissioners that's got teeth in it will survive the revision process.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for taking my call.
All right, thanks, Tom. Thanks for calling. Yeah, the charter is going to be interesting. To me, it's pretty amazing that the charter has come up already in terms of revising the city charter, because it's been a short time that really the charter has been in existence. But that's the way it was put into the legislation, and that's the way it was voted for as well.
Keith, what do you think about the Charter Commission?
I have no comment.
Keith takes the fifth.
I have no comment.
I like Nicole. I like Nicole Small and Jonah Underwood. I think
like them all. You know,
I think Underwood is doing a great job along with Nicole Small. So keep fighting for transparency.
We just got to make sure that people's interest is taken care of.
That's what they're going to aim for. Okay, some other things that happened this week that has drawn perhaps a lot of attention was, do you think the Democrats are going to impeach President Trump?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because Donald Trump is trying to goat them into doing that, okay? My thing is wait till 2020, come up with a cohesive program that they can sell to America and elect a candidate can win. And Joe Biden can beat him. Because that's who he's worried about.
But Pelosi, who's the speaker...
She's doing a good job, Bob.
Yeah, but she's having a hard time perhaps with some of the more radical members of her caucus saying that they want the impeachment, and she's trying to do this balance of not pushing the impeachment.
I just want to intervene for a second. I don't think Joe Biden can beat Bernie Sanders in an arm wrestling match.
Oh, please. Okay. Get out of here. We know you was a friend. Bernie is done. For once, Bob. For once.
The Bernie camp only got a camp that's really organizing and moving.
Tell me what legislation has Bernie passed in his career?
Look, man, I'm gonna put it like this. Joe Biden don't have a movement.
Hold on.
The only grassroots movement right now is the Bernie's camp.
Yeah, Bernie don't have a camp.
And I still feel the burn.
Bernie is falling though. I mean his numbers are falling.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about that earlier. Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, that we have a whole field. You got this big field of Democratic candidates. How many of those people supporting the other, candidates other than Bernie and Biden would switch over and support Sanders when they dropped out? Or more importantly, how many of their supporters would support Sanders versus Biden? And it might be that you have the Biden versus the anti-Biden people within the Democratic Party.
What we've seen from a lot of the Bernie supporters,
he might be outnumbered once you remove all those.
What you've seen from a lot of the Bernie supporters, if their history is what they've done in the past, is they don't participate once he drops out.
Yeah, but see, look at this, Bob. They did the poll. Guess who's taking over the party again? It's the moderates.
Yeah.
It's the moderates, man. They broke it down. Who was voting for where Joe Biden numbers was coming from? It was coming from people from 40 to 65.
Yeah, but it's a realistic way of trying to beat Trump. Actually, that he has what they call the gravitas to actually hang in with Trump.
Joe Biden can't beat Bernie Sanders in a fly fishing competition.
He's beating them now.
Can I ask you a question? The socialists become millionaire. What do you have to tell me a little bit about that? He's
Let's
talking
remember.
about that burn, but he's a millionaire. His wife did ran that college
into the ground.
So what are you burning now?
Look, it's still early.
He
It's still
did
early.
his own taxes and he screwed it up. That he underpaid $4,000 on his income taxes.
Hey, anybody can do an amendment now.
No, the burn. and I'm gonna tell you something. We tired of hearing the same old message. Equality, social. I'm tired of hearing that same.
What message do you want to hear, Keith?
We want to hear moderate that's going to be Trump.
Yeah, I want somebody going to be Trump. I don't want to see a guy.
I'm trying to hear transparency.
All right, David, you're on here with the panel.
Yes, thank you, Bob, for taking my call.
Sure.
Keith Williams, hey, man, you did the right thing by stating you didn't want to comment on that charter commission and Joanne Underwood. Hey, man, she is pathetic. The citizens of Detroit should be trying to get rid of her. Hey, I talked to her yesterday on the phone on Ada Mongo show. She's got a petition going out to get rid of Gabe Leland. Now, he's supposed to go to court for his trial in August, and she wants him removed because she wants to be able to appoint she wants to stop the mayor from appointing a replacement if he's found guilty in court.
But you know something? The bottom line is this, man. Bottom line, and full disclosure, I know Joanne Underwood's family. Her uncle's one was my roommate in college, and so I'm not going to comment on people's, those kind of things. But all I'm going to say to you is this: they removed Kwame. Kwame had to he had to leave. Dave got indicted, he needs to leave. He really does.
Say it again.
Gabe Leland needs to leave.
David,
wait a minute. Gabe Leland, hasn't been found guilty.
He's been indicted,
he went
man.
to court. He's been indicted, but you gotta wait till he has the trial. If he's found guilty,
hold on. They got a recall petition out on the brother. Okay, so let the process work.
Well, no. Let the process work where he goes to court, and if he's found guilty,
let the process work. So anybody can be recalled, brother. Anybody can be recalled.
Okay, but if he's found guilty, it's a felony. He's automatically removed from office.
But guess what? The people are exercising their right to the process.
People got a right to change their minds.
Right. What's wrong with that?
What? No, you know what? It's not going to happen. Forget all that.
David, I think there's a misperception too. I think if he actually leaves the council has a certain amount of time to appoint someone.
Yep.
It's not the mayor that actually appoints.
Because that's what they did with Gary Brown when he left, for example.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's the mayor that actually appoints.
Mayor don't appoint. It's the city council that appoints.
And if it's within a certain time of the election, then I think they leave it vacant until someone's elected into the position. I'm just doing that off memory.
Joanne Underwood doesn't know what she's talking about. If she's talking about, she wants to stop the mayor from appointing another city council person if he's removed from office. So she don't know what she's talking about.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what she said about
process, if the council gets to choose the next city council person. But to hear her talk, sometimes she uses improper English words. I'm like, I'm basing this on what is her education? I'm like, did you graduate from high school?
David, she is duly elected.
Yeah, we can't beat up on Underwood. Underwood and Nicole Smalls, two individuals on the Charter Commission that actually stands for transparency. So,
and guess what? Donald Trump can't speak King's English.
But we got another call.
There's a lot of elected officials. Don't use that against her. She's got passion. Like they say, Keith, you got too much passion. But brother, she's trying to exercise her rights, and I'm not against that.
Thank you for calling, sir. We got to go to the next caller.
Right, thanks, David. Back on. Who is this? Walter? Hello.
All right, Bob. I left this out. I know I called earlier, but you guys getting all over the politics. Let's talk about Bernie Slobbermouth Sanders, who looked like a demonic version of Albert Einstein. We're sending him right back to his grave. We're going to send him right back to his 12-foot hole where he belongs. And Joe Biden, he's a racist, and he's a molester. And the only reason he's running because he know he got a bunch of dumb black folks.
You're supporting the
You're
biggest
supporting the
molester.
Trump. Yeah. You're talking. You're worried about molesting, and you're supporting Donald Trump.
Listen, if Donald Trump hey, AKA and Bob, if Donald Trump was the dumbest man in the world, he'd be smarter than every person on your show, you too. He'd be smarter than all the demon class.
What about you? He's smarter than you? Is he smarter than you, A.K. Alias, who know who you are?
AKA, why you like to cut me off? Get the grits out your mouth and be quiet.
No, you get the pork chop out of your mouth.
All right. Okay.
Well, let's just remember. Let's just remember here, okay? We're all hating on Bernie because he's a millionaire, right? He didn't lose $1 billion. Okay, that's all I'm saying there. We hating on Bernie for his success. Donald Trump, the businessman, he goes bankrupt, loses $1 billion. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, only thing with Bernie, when he don't win, he goes back to being a socialist. When he wants something, he comes to the Democrats.
Yeah, why didn't he join the party? That's the biggest question I have. Why doesn't he join the party? He wants the nomination. He wants the nomination of the party.
Can you answer that, Willie? You're your spokesperson.
Hey, I'm going to just say is this. I would love to see the day that Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden sit there for an arm wrestling competition. But better yet, I would settle for a fly fishing competition. I think Bernie would come out on top.
But Biden's going to win the primary, whether it's fishing or anything else.
We got a long time.
What I like about Joe, he looks like a president. His dress. He's always perfect, man. Bernie, you don't know what you're gonna get. He looked like he just got out of bed, put on a coat on, hair going everywhere.
Hey, when Bernie hits the ground, you're gonna hear fire.
We've been hearing that. We've been hearing that. That's why we lost last time around, because he disappointed Hillary.
Hey, well, you know what?
He's not a team player, man.
You know what? I'm gonna leave you with this. Who won Michigan?
Guess by 10,000 votes, Donald Trump won. And guess
Case
what?
closed.
And guess what?
Bernie won Michigan.
Hold on. If
case closed.
This is the case. You guys y'all love Bernie, and y'all it's just like taking your ball and running with it. Y'all, if y'all can't get y'all way, y'all go run, okay? Say the hell with everybody else. But it ain't about Bernie. Bernie has never done nothing for black people. Tell me what Bernie's done for black people in this history.
I'm going to say this. Look at what Bernie stands for. We're going to talk about what Bernie stands for.
No, I'm asking. He shows up in the civil rights picture in 1966. I could have showed up in a picture.
You know what? We're gonna leave it as this. What Bernie stands for here is you're talking about college education and talking about what our student loan debts and things are. Here in America, I'm paying student loans right now, and I'm telling you, I can't use the word I want to use because of the show, but it's a pain when you're paying back these student loans for 20-some years.
I'm not mad at you,
but to make college affordable and free,
go to community college.
I support what Bernie is doing here, and then you talk about these folks that are incarcerated. All of this mass incarceration that's going on. Bernie has the right message, the right plan.
But what's Bernie been able to move about it?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. What has he done?
Look, see, we're all talking about Bernie here and everything like that. We started out talking about impeachment. I want to bring up one thing because it's really important right now. I want to make sure people know about it that's going on. William Barr, the Attorney General, I think that guy is pretty close to getting impeached.
We agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, this is a guy.
I don't agree. I don't think they're going to impeach him.
Well, I mean, they're already bringing charges against him. I mean, everybody know that this guy has refused a legal order to testify before the House of Representatives.
You had contempt of Congress with Eric Holder on that Fast and Furious, whatever that was, and it never resulted in anything. I mean, the president and Eric Holder ignored it, and nothing happened from it. In fact, I think they just resolved it about 2 or 3 months ago. So they aren't going to get Barr. I mean, it's all. What I get concerned about is that there's going to be so much concentration on subpoenas, and what are you, you're going to be bringing the Attorney General back in front of the committees and stuff like that. Generally, the people that go on with their lives day in and day out, they're saying, okay, what are you doing for me? Okay, that's nice. You guys can fight all you want, but what are you doing for me? What relief are you bringing to my life? Okay, it's like what he said a couple weeks ago. Everybody's talking about the Green Deal and everything else. Well, I'm not worried about solar panels on my roof. I just want a new roof. How do I get a new roof? In the thing. And that's, I get concerned that the Democrats are going to be so consumed on what they want to do with impeachment, going after the president and everything else. Look, you take care of him in 2020. You go after him. You go after him in 2020.
Bob is no hotheads. They want, if they can't get their way, they want to blow up the whole system, man.
Well, we can't have a system, too, where we just see politicians either going hard on the things that don't really matter, right? They're trying to gin up this Bernie Biden, like they're trying to get it just like it was 2016. We can't be having that kind of division, and we can't also, I think you're right. We got to have Democrats who are focused on providing a good message. You got to vote for something.
Let me say something to you. You got to win. The first thing, this gets me, Bob. I'm on the phone. I got Black Caucus, and I'm the only one on there that has ever been elected to office. But they got great ideas, and I get that.
But you got to win to do it, to implement it. It can't be just feeling good about it.
Feeling good about it. You can't. Activism is fine, but when it's all said and done, how do you get it done?
So the question
big question in Michigan and in a national level.
So how are we going to win? How are we going to make sure that victory happens?
Biden got the best chance of beating them. Bernie can't even win his neighboring state now, New Hampshire. Joe Biden just took the lead over there by 20 points.
And a lot of the African-American candidates thought that, South Carolina, North Carolina was going to be the firewall, and he's winning there, too.
Yes.
Now, this is the thing, though. We talking about winning, right? It's got to be about organizing. I think, Keith, you brought this up about a week or two ago. We got to make sure that we got folks out there on the ground. Okay, now I will say this. Bernie's got folks out on the ground. He got folks all around. Biden's got folks, too. We need more people to get their teams out there, and I think we're going to see that.
Bernie's people is selfish. They selfish, okay? You see what happened to Hillary. If look at that. Biden leads the pack in a crowded Democratic field. I'm telling you, it's baked in. Biden's going to win this. Now they need to coalesce around a message and coalesce around a winner.
Let's mark that down, and then 12 months from now, let's see how those polls
Bernie's
are.
Out. Bernie, you won't see Bernie.
But we got 20 other folks in this race.
Yeah,
you got Harris, you got some of the others that have credible records that they'll be able to run on. But the problem is, and I think we mentioned it earlier, you look at the average Democrat, they're saying, all this stuff is nice. I want to win. I want this guy out.
Yes.
And so that's why
that's
Trump.
That's what the police saying, Bob. They want somebody that can win. They don't want somebody that can be emotional. They want somebody that can bring the bacon home.
So what's that bacon? I want to make sure that we got Joe out there, that he's talking about what he's going to deliver. Okay? I don't want to go and just see Joe Biden go up there and talk about how he's against Trump and for America. I want to see Joe out there with firm policies.
I got nothing against y'all guys, man. I love y'all dearly, man. But you my man. You're going to be my man. But they be talking unrealistic stuff. Stuff ain't going to happen. You still got a Senate run by that clown from Kentucky. Mm-hmm. How can you get stuff through? You can come with all this emotional stuff, but if you can't get it through, what is it?
Well, can we get McConnell out? He's up for re-election, right? Can we have a strong enough Democratic ticket that's going to pull him out?
You're going to go in Kentucky and beat him? That's a hard thing to do.
It's a hard sell, but if we got somebody like Obama.
Got the other nut that's the senator from there, too. What's his name?
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul.
He's worse than McConnell, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what he's ever going to do.
Man, you got that whole cabal, man. So, Bernie, this is my problem. Bernie's been there all his life, and what has he done? He went from the Congress. He went to the Senate. What has he done? All he doing is talk that blowhard stuff.
Okay, here's what happens. Okay, let's say that Bernie gets elected. He's president. He says, I want Medicaid for all. He has it introduced. It goes to the Senate. They said, we're not going to do it. Okay, what happens now?
All right.
What's his policy now? What's he going to do?
All right. What about President Kamala Harris? right? What about President Warren?
I'm down
right? What about President Buttigieg? I mean, like I said, we got 20 folks in there.
Man, you got to go see the history about Buttigieg and black folks in South
Wayne or South Wayne.
It ain't been good. It haven't been good.
Well, remember, these are these candidates who are out there, right? And these are these candidates who are going to be out there trying to win and trying to sell that message over the next 12 months.
I don't know, but Buttigieg, he's a creation of the media. You see, he flopping too.
Bob,
Willie's going to give us something here.
Go
ahead,
Bob,
Willie.
One of the things that Bernie helped pass was the Energy and Water Legislation branch and military construction and Veteran Affairs Appropriations Act 2019. But then again, look at this one in September 17 of 2018 with the Opioid Crisis Response Act in 2018. That bill passed 99-1.
Because
you asked what did Bernie
the world was against opioids.
But look at what Bernie got the United States out of Yemen.
Hold on, you got that libertarians.
Well,
okay.
Now,
Doesn't say anything about what he's done for black folks.
Yeah.
In case you can't see it, our resident libertarian just passed a tablet to Willie about all the accomplishments of Willie.
And one thing, remember though, Willie, fair play to you on that. But remember, Donald Trump's the one holding that up. He's the one keeping us in Yemen. The Senate passed that, the House passed that, but Donald Trump is vetoed it, and he's still supporting that war over there, sending our tax dollars, killing some folks.
Today, Bernie can't win.
No,
I don't think you'll get that agreement.
No. Not from these folks.
I tell you, we got months. We got what was it? 14 months.
I'm telling you, the deal is done. It's done.
Okay, we're gonna mark it down. We're gonna mark it down.
You heard from Keith Williams. You can see Obama gonna control it. They don't want to lose anymore. Y'all coming in as a loser, and the rest of them congressmen, I don't know where they came. They can't win. The deal is done.
All right, I want to thank you. We're getting near the end of our hour here. We appreciate it. We had a great 2 hours here. I want to thank Lena Angott, who came from the Detroit Club. Also, we have Keith Williams. Keith, again, thanks for coming in.
Make sure she gets some grits shrimp grits down there.
Yeah, she's going to get it. All right, Police Commissioner Willie Burton. Tom Choate, who is a community activist, right?
Yep. I think he loves Bernie, too.
Yeah, I think you're a Bernieite that's going with it, right? And we...
I want to make sure we beat Trump. I want to make sure we got the right person out there. I want to make sure we stand for progressive values.
And we also have...
Scotty Boman.
That's right. Okay.
I want to hand it over the laptop.
Okay. I want to make sure he got his voice in there. And I want to thank Maxine for everything that she's done with running the board today. It was kind of crazy. Appreciate it. We're going to see you next week from 8 to 10, 9:10 a.m. the Superstation.
Finding a way to solve them. Look at here. Let me keep it 100 and let me tell you.
Hi, I'm